Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Nest, the first edition for men's and women's golf here for 2020-2021, joined by first-year head coach Craig Sager. Coach, I know you're on the road today out recruiting, so I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to sit down and talk golf with us.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime I get a chance to talk golf, I take advantage of it, right?
Absolutely. So you are one of four coaches that joined us in January, February, before things shut down. Tell us a little bit about that journey for you. Why did you choose Jewel? Why'd you make the move? Just why Jewel?
Yeah, it was actually a tough decision because I had a great coaching job prior. We were seeing some success on the course, a lot of success in the classroom, and I just felt like it was the right time to make a jump to a more academically stable program. Not that North Central wasn't an academic institution, but Jewel is just known for its academic rigor. And with that comes that caliber of kid, that one that you don't have to chase down to go to class. You don't have to worry about getting late night phone calls from the VP or the AD. They're going to do the right thing. Now, kids will be kids, right? They're going to have fun. They're college kids, but the level and severity of the fun and consequences of that fun is a little different at this level. But made the jump in January. Thought I had a nice cushion to recruit. And then COVID hit and that rug came out from underneath us, but we've made the best of it. I actually think it's probably leveled the playing field for us a little bit in the sense that it doesn't cost anything to send a DM. It doesn't cost anything to watch a webinar. It doesn't cost anything to send emails. So we were able to do all that without spending any money, which was a blessing to us. While we can get on the road and recruit, we don't have the budget to fly all over the country and watch every junior tournament like some programs do. So it gave us a fighting chance for kids that we might not otherwise get a hold of. And at the same time, those kids had time as well. So kids that might take a month to reply, they were replying that day because they were bored out of their mind sitting at home. So it was actually a blessing. I hate that it happened. People are really suffering because of it, but there's some light that came out of it. And I think we took advantage of those opportunities.
Absolutely. So you touched on a little bit the spring season where you came in kind of a unique spot where you were the head coach, but also not fully coaching in the regard. The plan was for you to be able to kind of focus on making that transition and recruiting and getting to know the college, while Bob Cole, who'd been with the program for about 10 years, was going to finish out the season. And then all of a sudden, like you said, everything hit and the rug kind of came out from under you, like you said. And so talk a little bit about recruiting in that time, just because just like college tournaments were canceled, so were your high school tournaments. So how'd you find kids? How do you go out and do that?
So the hard thing is coming in January, kids in golf specifically, they commit so early. I mean, we're already looking at 2022 commits, verbally, of course, but they commit so early. So we knew that a lot of the talent had been picked up probably a year prior. So the focus was, let's find any low-hanging fruit in the area that could come in for us in 2020, 2021. But at the same time, just like in golf, control what you can control. That was behind us. So our focus was really, what are we going to do for this 21 recruiting class? That was our first big project. It's really my first recruiting class. Coach Cole and Coach Harmon kind of secured the talent for 2020 already. So 2021 was really my priority. And golf was one of the unique sports that never really shut down. Summer competitions were everywhere. I mean, some of the metro areas like Chicago, things like that, they might have halted some tournaments here and there, but Missouri, Kansas, we were full blown. So the hard thing was they were playing, they were expecting me to be there and watch, and the NCAA said, sorry, you can't. So that was tough. It was a lot of watching scores. I mean, there were times where I'd have 4 monitors set up watching 4 different tournaments live scoring. And, as soon as they come off 18, it's a text message that said, hey, great round, or way to follow up the bogey with 2 birdies. Things like that. It was a lot of texting parents during the round saying, hey, what are you seeing? And not necessarily the recruits' parents, but friends of the program that are on the road watching their kids that are also watching recruits. So it was a lot of virtual time, a lot of screen time. And that's something new for me because I'm on the golf course 24/7. So to be in front of monitors and texting is not my thing. But we made it our thing and it seemed to work. We've picked up some really good talent.
That's awesome. I always think about that the last few months is like, what would this have been like if this was, 1975 and we didn't have virtual stuff and we didn't have, live stream of tournaments or live results and things like that. I think it would have been exponentially more difficult. So I'm glad
It
at
would
least
have,
it's happening now.
yeah, it would have been tricky, but keep in mind in an individual sport, these kids are seeking instruction privately. So we always have had access to swing coaches and not so much high school coaches, but swing coaches on the side. And then validate what they say with their high school coach or their high school athletic director or friends of the program that have seen them play. So we always have that inside information from the people they're working for or with on the side. Or if you say we're on the side and they're working with them full time, however you want to look at that, there's always sharing of information in the golf world.
Absolutely. Which is very helpful, I'm sure, for you. So you are one of the few programs this fall that's going to be able to actually compete against outside competition. We've got a schedule now, a couple of tournaments for both the men and the women. Talk to us a little bit about what your schedule looks like, as well as kind of how you got there. I know it's been a little bit frustrating at times with states and
Oh,
counties
wow.
just constantly changing things and just everything revolving constantly.
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't know, we're actually hosting the NCAA region in the spring on the men's side this year. And part of that is a fall preview event. And we had the top teams in 4 states coming to our preview event. And it was going to be exciting. That thing was full. And then all of a sudden, conferences just started dropping like flies. So that tournament is now basically a duel with us and Rockhurst. We're trying to pick up some other local teams from interdivision, things like that. To join in the fun on that. But that went from 18 top level teams to 2 in the Kansas City area. So that's a bit disappointing, but it does give us a chance to build that relationship with Rockhurst. It's right down the street from us. Kind of use that as a barometer because they've been good or better than us for a while. So see where we're at without putting a ton of miles on the bus or our legs or our golf bags and things like that. It's a home match for us at Shoal Creek. So I would like to think we know that course by now. I think we know the perimeters. I'm not sure we know the center of the fairways, but we definitely know the rough and the tree line. But we do get to travel 1 trip each. The guys will go to St. Louis to play an UMSL's event, and the girls are heading to Drury to actually kick off our season. Or I guess we're going to Bolivar to play in Drury's event. I think numbers are down in the Drury event just because we're the only conference playing in this area. Typically we see teams from MIAA and things like that, the northern teams out of Minnesota and Iowa, but they're done for the fall. I think they're able to practice but not compete. So long story short, that tournament's going to be down in numbers, but no doubt Drury's got the talent level to play a good home tournament. So we're looking forward to that. And then on the guys' side, I think last I saw the UMSL tournament was full. Being St. Louis, they're the midway point for the GLVC, so you're kind of crazy not to go play in that because you get to see the Eastern teams, they get to see us. That truly is a midpoint between Kansas City and Indianapolis. So, and then we'll finish up at Park, another Kansas City tournament, but don't take that lightly because that's probably the hardest test of golf on our schedule with the National and the Deuce there in Parkville. The National, I think that course was built to host a PGA event. It's just brutal. We played in it last year when I was at North Central, and I mean, we saw kids popping 90s that were normally around level par. It's a tough golf course. So you got to get your head right. Everybody there can hit the center of the club face. It's which ones keep the right attitude because that golf course throws a lot of punches at you. So guys and girls will both be playing there. So that'll be a true test of golf to finish out our season.
Yeah, really give you kind of an idea of where you are to finish the fall and where you're headed into the spring and kind of that, not off-season, but winter workouts and where you need to be by the time spring season starts.
Right. So you take that 2 ways. I mean, when you finish the fall on a hard golf course, it either pumps kids up for spring or, man, it really kicks them in the shin. And sometimes we need that kick going into the off season. So, we're not at a level where we're protecting scoring averages and things like that and worrying about individual national rankings. That'll come. But right now we need to play the hardest golf courses we can play to set the tone on where we need to be in our practice regimen. So I like it. The players protecting scoring averages don't always like it, but hey, that's golf.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta play against the best to be the best kind of thing.
Right, right.
So tell
So long story short, we're going to get 3 good golf courses for each side this fall, and that's something that most conferences can't say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just the opportunity to play this fall, I think, is be
Huge.
thankful for.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about recruiting. Did bring in some guy, one I believe one woman and a few guys. Bob Cole and Monty Harmon, like you said, had a big hand in that as well. But you brought over a couple of guys with you from North Central Missouri College that were set to play for you last year and have kind of followed you here, as well as some others that were a part of that class. Tell us a little bit about your recruiting class.
Yeah, I'm pleased. I think it's a super talented group of guys. I'll start on the guys' side. And, Coach Cole, Coach Harmon, they brought in 4 true freshmen. Um, and I just want to set the tone with them that I don't need them to be rock stars this year. We're deep on the guys' side, and we're bringing back. We only lost 1 senior on that side, and we're bringing back a really talented group of guys filling that spot. So we lost Jameson Howard. It doesn't really feel like we lost him because he's still on campus. I think he's like the house dad or something for Fiji, so he's still around. He's just not hitting golf balls and putting a score on the board. But we like where we're at. Those 4 guys, if they stay patient and work through their process, it's constantly reminding them that golf is not a sprint, right? If you try to sprint through the game of golf, you're going to get burnt out and hate the game. As a coach, I can't let that happen. I have to make sure that you're more in love with golf when you leave William Jewell than when you got there. And if you find a way to do that through our process and our systems, you're going to improve your golf and play good golf. If you rush through the process and try to hurry something that just cannot be hurried, wow, you're in for a long, long season. And that is when burnout kicks in. So again, it's setting the tone with them that I don't need them to be my number 1 player right now. I need them to work towards that goal as a junior and a senior. And that just comes with having a deep, deep team. Now listen, if one of them comes in and lights the world on fire, we're taking them to a tournament, right? Because that's how I get judged, is the team score. So I've been known to throw freshmen to the wolves. I know last year I did it at North Central, and there was a little shell shock involved, but that's part of it. And then on the girls' side, we brought in Hope Peck, a local player. Hope had some good high school success. She's super athletic and probably as smart of golfer as you can find in the classroom and on the golf course. So I think once we work with her a little bit on some course management things, you're going to really see her improve. But again, all of our kids are great kids. They're kids I don't have to worry about in the classroom or campus life or volunteer work, things like that. So golf takes care of itself. If you're happy off the golf course, you're going to play good golf. And then you referenced the 2 Swedes that I brought over from North Central. Both of those guys have high goals of playing tour golf back home. Frederick's actually seen a little taste of that playing as an amateur in some tour events that he qualified for. Martin is getting there. But that's tough, managing players with those lofty goals and also players that are going to be professional in something other than golf. So we really work individually. It's not a one-size-fits-all practice plan. We really, really work on individual goals. And, I push those guys on the golf course a little harder and push some other guys in the classroom a little harder because that's what they're at Jewell for. So it really is a melting pot. All of our players get along great. We practice a co-ed style practice where we've got girls playing with guys and, just trying to get players out of their comfort zone. And let me tell you, if you're a guy and you're paired with a girl that day, you're out of your comfort zone because you're on edge. She's going to beat you. And let me tell you, we got 1 or 2 that can beat them. So I actually played with Katie Vossbinder the other day, and I'm pretty sure she got me. So it's definitely possible.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about the 2 young men from Sweden. I think it's been a while since we've had an international student athlete on the golf team. So excited to see what they can do. I've heard big things about them, and just all of them together. I think we're very excited to, like we said earlier, just to play golf, just to play competition, outside competition for the first time in 6 months. So
the key to the Swedes is setting the tone and expectations. We can't let that cart get ahead of the horse. We brought them here and kind of set them on a plateau. Fair, unfair, I don't know. Time will tell. They know they're good, but they've got to learn to play within themselves. They play a different style of golf than the rest of the guys on our team just by location where they grew up. So we need to make sure they play their golf and not try to be our guys, if that makes sense. I hate to
Absolutely.
separate the two, but when you watch them play, it is two different styles of golf.
Yeah.
So we just need to make sure they keep kind of tunnel vision, I guess, if you will, and not watch what's going on around them, keep their expectations in check. Again, just like with the freshmen, the true freshmen coming in, we don't need them to be great today. We just need them to get better than they were yesterday. And if you do that, at the end of your time at Jewel, you're going to be playing pretty good golf.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you for taking some time out of your day today. I know you're out recruiting, like we said earlier. So good luck with that, obviously.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully the rain holds out. I did bring my umbrella. Yesterday I forgot it, and I got
Yeah, it
soaked.
doesn't
Today
seem
I
like
have
it's
it.
a very good place to be playing golf today, but we hope that the kids you're looking at do well and hope to have some success there, and just appreciate you taking some time.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for your help, Jalen.
Thank you.